All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So there have been a couple of reactions coming out from the camp of the Super Falcons and also the Zambian women's team following that 5-0 defeat of the Zambian women's team to send them packing out of the WAFCON competition. Meanwhile, the Super Falcons of Nigeria have qualified into the semi-finals and they are now awaiting uh, the results from today to know who they will be playing in the semis in a couple of days from now. So we have a couple of games coming up this evening. First one is around 5 p.m. Algeria versus Ghana. Winner in this one is going to face Morocco, who won their quarterfinal match yesterday. And then we have another one coming around 8 p.m. today. South Africa versus Senegal. And the winner in this game is going to play against Super Falcons in the semis. So it's going to be interesting to see how today's game unravel. Uh, and then the people that the Super Falcons will face. And the time or the dates for the semifinals has already been fixed. So it's going to be on Tuesday of next week, 5 p.m. is the time for that one. But again, there were reactions, post-match reactions coming in from the coach who, obviously, before the game, I think, she said a little too much. She said more than she should have said, because she was just full of some bold statements. Part of the things that she said before the game was that she can assure us that she and her team are very hungry and that they are here to hunt the Super Falcons. This was one of the big statements that she made. And then not just for her, the team, they themselves, we saw the players come out and say a lot of interesting things about the Super Falcons. And then the fans as well all over social media were just uh, very annoying and very downgrading of the Super Falcons. And boy, did they learn the hard way. They obviously did learn the hard way by collecting 5-0. By the end of the day, her post-match reaction seems to show that she uh, now has respect of some sort for the Super Falcons because she goes on to congratulate them, saying that the victory is a very deserved victory and that uh, uh, she and her team, they can be proud in knowing that they were beaten by the Super Falcons, who are obviously the best in Africa. They've won the trophy a lot of times, and also uh, the quality in the squad tells a lot. But she's not particularly happy with her team because she was quick to criticize her team, especially in the game last night, because she said that they didn't show up the way they used to show up in previous games. So that was what she held against her team or over her team. But in the end, she said that she's very proud and that they've developed a lot in the last couple of months, as a team, and that she hopes to continue this development with the team as they seek to qualify for the FIFA World Cup 2026. So they're actually really very lucky to still have a shot at qualifying for the World Cup 2026 because ideally they should have been out of the qualification if it was based on like if this was like the last Nations Cup. But fortunately for them, there's still going to be a Women's Nations Cup next year, which is also the year for the World Cup. And technically, this one that's currently ongoing is the 2024 African Cup of Nations. So the next one is going to be 2026. So they still have a chance because the teams that will be able to qualify into the semifinals of next year's AFCON will get automatic ticket to the World Cup that same year. So that's the saving grace, and uh, the coach is relishing this grace, and she's looking to go back and rebuild her team and hopefully come back strong uh, in next qualifiers because they actually have qualifiers coming up later this year's end, qualifiers for the African Cup of Nations 2026. But for our team, the Super Falcons, the coach has a little bit of thing to say after the game. She came out and said that he wasn't surprised with the score line because he already knew how good the Super Falcon is, and uh, the fact that the Zambian women's team came out to play the Falcons man to man was for him the reason why they collected a lot of goals. And he said that the previous games that we've played in the group stages where we were unable to score a lot of goals, he claims that the reason is because these teams were very defensive and didn't allow the Super Falcons to express themselves, in terms of how the attacking prowess and how they like to play. So that's what he said. Just going to read it out. Coach Madugu said in the previous games we played the opposition and they decided to pack the bus and play a low block, and that made it difficult for us to be able to play the kind of football that people expected. So that is it. But I mean, this victory is very huge, not just for the team, but also for the coach, who obviously received some criticisms leading into this game because a lot of people were talking about, this doubt here and there about his capacity to carry these girls all through. But definitely, this is going to, you know, be a breather to him, and then hopefully, semifinals is going to be a lot more easier as well. But let's leave that gist, guys, and let's talk about the the World Cup qualifying hopes. Right now, one man has decided to weigh into it to talk about what he thinks about Nigerian Super Eagles qualifying for the World Cup 2026. And this man is former Super Eagles player Brown IDEYE, who also played for West Bromwich Albion, at some point during his career. So he came out and expressed pessimism. He was very pessimistic about the chances of Nigeria, in terms of qualification for next season. But for his reason, he feels that we haven't really done the necessary thing or the right things at the right time. The fact that we started slowly, we didn't really take the competition or the qualification very seriously from the onset, and then considered a lot of mistakes, and those mistakes are now coming back to haunt us later on. This is one of the things that he said is a problem. And also the team in itself, he doesn't believe that the team has enough cohesion to get the victories in all of these matches and turn the table around. So for Bright today, he said, with the present form, I don't think we are going to qualify, unless maybe if something changes. That's because we always forget to do our job at the right time. We then look for someone else to clean up our mess for us. Why do we keep on doing this? Why can't we just win our games and let other people do the counting, the calculations, and the maths? Why do we keep on doing it the hard way? We started very, very badly again. It's very, very bad for a country that has 200 million plus people. Every time the national team is playing, people leave their jobs, close their shops, and put aside everything. Right now, a lot of people have given up on this team. A lot of people don't believe in the team again. Even if they eventually qualify for the World Cup, they will have to get to a great stage for people to start believing in them again. Maybe like getting to the semifinal, which we have never reached. So this is his 2 cents concerning this matter. And for one, I'd like to disagree with Brian Idea on this one. I still think our hopes of qualifying is very, very big. I think we can still do it. It depends on the mentality, that the boys bring into the squad, and the mentality is great. Is right, because I've been seeing a couple of reactions from the players. While they are in their club side, they've been saying what it actually means to them to qualify to the World Cup. Sime has said it several times. Ola Aino said it. Ekong, all of the senior players have been saying that it's a do or die, and they would love to qualify into the World Cup because part of the reason is that most of them don't even know if they will have the chance ever again to get to represent at the World Cup, and most of them haven't even been to the World Cup. So the drive is there, the willingness is there. It's just for them to prosecute it under a very good plan from the tactician himself, Coach Eric Shaw.